Hello guys, Dejan here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's short video I'm going to show you how to quickly paint Antipode K9 for the Ariadna army. This will be a really simple paint job with not that much colors used. As you can see, he's mostly like black and white. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's do it. I started with priming my model black. I used the Vallejo black primer and I applied this in 2 or 3 very thin coats. I waited completely for the first coat to dry and then I went around and applied a second and a third one so that I achieved the even coat all around so that I cannot see any metal under it. Then after that I sprayed a little white from the top just to be easier to see the details and make a definition on those muscles, so it will be much easier for me later to do the highlights and paint. This is completely optional and it's not mandatory, but for me it is just much easier to paint like this. I will start with painting his skin and fur first. For this I'm going to use a German camo beige and I'm going to paint the muscles on the chest, end of his fur, and as well I will use it to paint the end of his arms and legs with this paint. I applied this in 2 very thin coats so that I had a good coverage, because if you applied it in the first coat you will see that this paint is slightly transparent, so you will have to go with the second coat on top of it. Now I will make a wash from the dark gray and I will wash the whole miniature, but I will put more focus on the areas that I painted in the previous step. I will now start highlighting the skin. For this I'm going to use deck tan and I'm going to start with very lightly highlighting the muscles and all the lighter skin part of the model. I will also use this to highlight his fur and the veins on his arms and legs. And for the final highlight we are going to use Ivory, but this time we are going to highlight the same areas that we did in the previous step, but this time we are going to cover less of it. When it comes to the fur, I'm going to be focused mostly at the end of the hairs, and I will use this paint also to paint his teeth. For his tongue and gum and these wounds that he have on his arms, I will use black red as my first base color. After the first layer is dry, I will now use a Scarlett blood and I will apply on top of a previous layer, but covering a little less areas than before. To add a little shadow and a bony look to the teeth, I will use a Skeleton Horde contrast paint and I will apply it as one single wash all over it. And just to add, I will use this paint straight from the pot. And just to add a little highlight to those wounds and his tongue, I will use an orange fire. Now I'm going to paint his rusty knife, and to start I will use hull red, and I will just paint the whole knife with two very thin coats. I will try to achieve even coat all around so that you cannot actually see any black under it, but even if you leave some black, it will just contribute to the effect and it will still be good. The next step is to start applying our first weathering effect. So for this we will use a Cavalry brown, and as you can see I'm just stippling it at the top of the most raised areas of the knife. So I will just go and make a little dots and lines all around with the tip of my brush, but I will not go in the deepest recesses. I will try to avoid this as much as possible. For a second layer of the rust I will use orange brown, and I will continue applying it with the stippling effect, but this time I will focus more on the most raised areas, and I will cover less areas than in the previous step, because you still want for the previous color to be seen under it. And now I'm going to use a smoke and apply a few washes that will unify everything, and it will make it look much smoother. After that wash is completely dried, I will make another one, but this time from the blue-green, and I'm going to apply it inside the recesses so that they look like oxidized areas. Now it's time to paint this little vest that he's wearing. For this I will start with the flat earth, and I'm going to apply it in a few very thin coats because this paint is slightly transparent if you apply it in only one coat. So wait for it to completely dry, then you apply a second one, and then if needed you apply a third one so that you have a good coverage with this paint. Then, same as in our previous step, we will use smoke as our wash and thoroughly wash the whole vest with it. After the wash is dried properly, I will use a sunny skin tone and mix it with the previous color. And I will do this in 2 or 3 steps, adding a sunny skin tone more and more, and I will start highlighting the letter. You can use it as a stippling technique, or you can just draw the lines or put some dots on the side. It's all up to you, but you can use it to make some areas much brighter than the others. And then for the last highlight I'm going to add Ivory to the previous mix of colors to make it even more brighter, and I'm going to stipple it on the edges of these letter straps all around. I will draw little lines, very thin lines, just to simulate scratches. And for the stars and straps we are going first to use the same Ivory just as our base color, and then I'm going to pick up some random light blue color and random light red color, and I'm just going to paint the whole emblem in like 2 or 3 very thin coats on top of it. Just very careful because it is quite small and it's very difficult to paint it, so it's very easy to make mistakes. But anyway, if you make any mistakes, just go back with the Ivory, put it back to the lighter color, and then repaint it again. And last thing that we're going to do is to paint the frame of the emblem and the buckles. I will start with painting it black, and then I will keep adding white in 2 steps just to make first dark gray and then the lighter gray color, and just start highlighting it. And for the final highlight I'm going to use a pure white just as an edge highlight or make a few dots on the brightest spots. And that's it, guys. I will wrap this video here. If you'd like to know how I painted this base, make a comment in the section down below, and I will try to make a separate video onto it if you want. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It will mean a lot to me, and it will make this channel grow. And if you'd like me to paint something else, leave a comment in the section down below, and I will try to do my best. This will be all for now, guys. Stay safe, take care, and see you soon. Bye bye.